Hey guys, I got another check stimulus update. I also have some resources and some relief programs that I'm going to go over in this video. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you a way you can actually make money without depending on the government or a job, but you have to stay to the end of this video. If you're into entrepreneurship, making money online, or you just want to change your financial situation, subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification so you get notified every time I do another video. Also, if you want to get my #1 recommendation to make $200 to $500 a week, click the link in the description. Linda Bomba here. I am a full-time internet marketer. You want to stay on this video all the way to the end, because if you miss something, then you won't be able to get anything out of this video. I do have some updates that I'm going to get into in a second, and some resources I'm going to give you. Hopefully there's a resource here that you'll find helpful. So the latest update is there is some bipartisan support for giving the American people, and 80% of the people that come to my YouTube channel are U.S. residents, to put some sort of program in place where, say for the next 6 months, they're giving direct payments of $2,000. That's the good news. The bad news is, there's not another bill that's being signed or moved through the Congress or the House, the Senate, or going to the President to sign. They were on break all the week of Memorial Day. They have met this week. Today is Thursday, June 4th. The bad news is they'll be on break again for 2 more weeks over 4th of July, and then they're on break the whole month of August. So whether anything's going to happen in June, I know we're at the beginning of the month. If you haven't gotten your first stimulus check, I can tell you for sure it won't be a check. They are mailing out debit cards, so I am going to encourage you. It's going to probably be a plain envelope that you'll get your debit card. And if you get a lot of junk mail like I do, make sure you go through your mail. If there's an envelope you're not really sure what it is, open it, because that could in fact be your debit card. If somebody goes and you throw that out, then you're going to have, and I'm not even sure if there is a website at this point. If you lose a debit card where you can apply and get another one, then you'll have to pay. I'm sure there's some fee involved in getting another card. So make sure you really check your mail, because if you haven't gotten it, the initial people that got their stimulus checks, that was a direct deposit for most people. And then the next round were paper checks. They're not doing paper checks. I think the debit cards are probably a better idea. From what I understand, you can withdraw the money off of the debit card into and transfer it to a bank account, or you can go to an ATM and get cash if you prefer that. But make sure you're checking your mail, because I can tell you for sure it's definitely a debit card. Now, if you're not sure that you're even in the works to get one, your stimulus check, you can go to irs.gov and check that out. Now, I do have some resources I want to share with you here, to help with, if you've got rent or mortgage, and some other programs. Now, what I will do is, I don't have every state. The states that I do have, what I'm going to do is I'll leave. One of the states I have is Colorado. Has a rent fund here for mortgage assistance in response to the pandemic. This is another one for Iowa. I have another one here. This is for about the state of Oregon, making $8.5 million available to pay rent. And this particular article tells you what you have to do to get assistance from this. This is another one from California. I have some more of these. I don't have every state. What I would tell you to do is to go to Google. And I'll put these, I've got more than 4 of these. I think I've got 8 or 9 different states. What I will do in the comment section of this video, I'll leave links for the different programs that I have. You can check out by state if you're in one of these states. These are 4 of them. I've got I think there's 5 or 6 others. I will leave that link. I will pin the comment to this video, so it'll be pinned to the bottom of this video, that you can check those out. If your state's not there, what I would encourage you to do is to go to Google and do a search, something like resources and pandemic relief programs, and whatever state you live in. Like I live in Pennsylvania. Now there's not one here in these articles that I found that for Pennsylvania, so I would go and search, if you do live in Pennsylvania like I do, search Pennsylvania Pandemic Assistant Relief Programs or something like that and see what comes up. You may be in one of these states. Now these are just four of them: Colorado, Iowa, Oregon, and this one is for California, which if I scroll down on this, council to vote on Monday for emergency rental assistance program guidelines. If you do live in California and you're having and you're struggling to pay, your rent or whatever, I will leave the link for this particular one. You can check this out and see if it applies to you and what you would have to do to go about, getting some assistance with this. Like I said, I don't have I don't have something for every, all 50 states, but there's probably something in the state that you live, because the reality is, and a lot of people still haven't gotten their stimulus check, and $1,200, it may pay some groceries, some of your utilities. You could put some of it towards your rent, but that's probably not going to be enough. And really, my opinion doesn't really matter. I do think that Congress needs to come up with something where they're paying people something like $2,000 a month for the next 6 months between now. We're in June through the end of the year.
Insurance do whatever it takes for you. Because that's one thing you can be sure about with AAA.
Let me just take that off, because it's just not going to be enough. I mean, people are really hurting. So I will leave the links for all these before, and the way, it's just how slow the checks, the 1,200 thing that did get passed, how slow that's been to get through Congress, for, and the Democrats and Republicans and them going back and forth and deciding what they're going to do or not. And they're not, it doesn't really seem like, they are meeting every day this week, but it doesn't seem like they're coming up with something like, hey, some sort of bill that's going to start paying people $2,000 a month for at least the next 6 months, because I think, and that's just my opinion, that they've got to do something, but then really my opinion doesn't count. That's just what I think, because so many people are hurting right now, and with all the stuff going on in the United States, it's just, people are, and some people, I know where I live, the unemployment website is just so inundated with so many people on it, they just can't handle it. And really, the unemployment system was not set up like it needs to be. With we're at a 20, a crazy high unemployment rate, and like in Germany, we've got like a 20% or higher unemployment rate, where Germany has like a 5%. I think some other countries have handled this a lot better. And now with all the looting and all that's going on, if you live near a big city like I do, and I'm just trying to stop to watch it all, not watching it because it just, I think it's really sad. People's businesses are being burned down. Peacefully protesting is one thing, but the looting's just not okay. And then people are getting hurt, and the whole George Floyd thing, I don't want to get into that. So I will leave links for all of these. If your state is not here, I would encourage you to go to Google and search your state and search something like pandemic relief programs, and see what comes up, because your state probably has something that you might be able to apply for to help you with, paying your rent, your mortgage, food, that kind of thing. I know there's SNAP programs for food assistance. You could search that too. But you definitely want to check these out. I'll leave a link below. Now, if you want to, I've been working from home now for 4 years. I haven't worked a full-time job. Are you even, with all of this, even prepared or thinking? Until I lost one job in 2011, that was my only stream of income. Unemployment was pretty high then. It's not as bad as it is now. I couldn't find a job, and I was broke, unemployed, and foreclosure. I never thought about, that job was my only stream of income. I just never thought about it. Are you starting to think about, having more than one stream of income, even if you have a job? You can check out my #1 recommendation to make money online. The link's below. You can start, even if you have a job starting to work, just do this and spend 7 to 10 hours a week around a full-time job. If you don't have a full-time job, if you've lost your job, check it out, because if you're not taking this into your own hands and you're not thinking, most millionaires, they have an average of 7 to 8 income streams. If you have more than one stream of income and something happens to one, you're not totally screwed. And I was totally screwed in 2011. I couldn't find a job. I found one in 20, and I was in foreclosure at that point. I was making little to nothing online at that point. I hadn't really been making money, and I didn't have any income. And basically you end up screwed. I was burning through my savings, putting things like food and gas and that kind of thing, writing checks against my credit card to pay my mortgage. And then when the bottom kind of fell out of that, I just couldn't. And I was grateful. I found a job in a call center making $12.50 an hour, which was much less than what I was making from the job I made in 2011. I took it. I was grateful for it every day. I lost that job in 2016. And I've been job free ever since. I do this full time. You can, you're in control. You decide how much money you want to make. And yes, this does take time and effort. It takes work. You can get started with, take a look at my recommendation for very little to get started. Yeah, there's things you've got to learn, but if you start working and get yourself in the mindset, because Sylvia Brown predicted this respiratory virus. And she also said there's going to be another one in 2030. You can go get her book. She passed away in 2013. She's a published author. It's in her book. You can go get her book. Are you prepared? And just not for something like this, where if you just lose a job or something happens, you become ill, you can't work. Are you prepared? If you're not thinking like that, I'd encourage you to at least start thinking about that with all this that's going on, so you don't have to rely on the government. You don't have to rely on a job or someone else. Giving you a job or some way for you to make money. Are you in any kind of position? Are you thinking about putting yourself in a position where you can make money and you don't need to depend on the government? You don't need to depend on a job. If you're not, I'd encourage you to start thinking like that, because this is not going away anytime soon. So you can check out the link in my description, and I will leave the links for these resources. I will pin it in the comments. Give this video a like, give a thumbs up if you found value. Leave me a comment. Let me know, did you get your stimulus check? Are you looking at, did you lose your job, or do you still have a job? And whether you lost your job or you still have one, are you thinking about ways that you can put yourself in a position that you have other ways that you can make money and create an income? So I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next video.